Yeah. Yeah. It's always sneaky, but my kids are all older, so.
Okay. All right, so it is now 6 o'clock, and we'll call the December 10th meeting of the Citizens Public Safety Review and Appeal Board to order.
Roll call. Jason Allen,
Present.
Christopher Caldwell,
Present.
Wally Ferrera,
Here.
Ebony Hempel,
Present.
Barbara Miller,
Here.
Susan Stapleton,
Here.
Teresa Thrash,
Here.
Larry Tolbert.
Present.
Thank you for being here tonight in person as well as via the city's live streaming platforms. Public comments will be accepted during the times as indicated on today's meeting agenda. Community members that wish to provide public comments over the phone can call 888-382-9556 during the citizen comments period. They will enter a queue and will be prompted to offer their comments in turn. Callers will be commenting to the board live and will no longer be able to leave a recorded message.
At this time, I'd like to call for a motion to adopt the September 10th, 2024 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, we'll move to the notification of our regular meetings for 2025. The meetings, as they have been in the past, will be the second Tuesday of each month from 6 to 7 p.m. On the second floor of the City Hall here in the City Commission chambers. There's one exception to note, and that is that the November 2025 meeting falls on Veterans Day, and the city offices will be closed in observance of the holiday. In turn, the November 11th C-SCRAB meeting will either be canceled or rescheduled as we move closer to that date. Updates as to the meeting schedules can be found posted on the C-SCRAB website at www.kalamazoocscrab.org. And so as we find out more about that particular meeting, those updates will be posted. At this point in time, we'd like to invite our guests forward for the PCR report.
Finish up the police. Can you hear me now? Should I start over? Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, good evening, I should say. Assistant Chief Victor Green. I wanted to give an update before. Well, that is a difference. I want to give an update before Inspector Mason brings in update with the PCRs. We just graduated 15 candidates, cadets from the police academy. And they were sworn in this past Friday here. So we have 15 new members to the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. We also are in our final stages within the next week or so of our new background interviews that's coming up, I believe, December 19th, so around there. And hopefully when we report back in January, we can say that we have some new members that's in the police academy. So we're very excited about the opportunity to add new members to our team. So, if there's no questions about that, I would turn it over to Inspector Mason to give updates on the PCR.
I did have one question, and that has to do with, I know you had talked about in the past, a cadet program.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah. So if you could update us on that.
So thank you very much. So we have a brand new cadet program that just hasn't even kicked off. It will officially kick off in January of 2025. We're having 4 cadets. One has officially been given a position, and we have 3 that's in the process now. The cadet program will be each cadet member, and the ages are 18 to 21, they would be assigned to different divisions within the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety with the hope that eventually when they turn 21, that they would become members of the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. So they go through a pretty intense background interviewing process, and then they decide at the age of 21, which is a requirement to become a police officer, they can go through a small background and automatically come over to the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. So that's our exciting program. That this is the first time that the department is having a cadet program. So thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Allen.
First of all, Chief, congratulations on graduating 15 members to the department. I know it's an established accomplishment. And because of that number and having sat on the panel, I'm just wondering, because I know in the past we've had like 2, 3, 4, or 5, but such a large number. What do you think was the difference to get that many applicants, candidates, and then through the program?
Yeah, that was a good question. We I think a couple of things occurred. We have a new technology, a new platform called Interview Now, which allows us to constantly communicate with the applicant through texting and everything. So we have constant communication. Our process is pretty much the same, and we also have mentors now. So when cadets go through the KVCC Police Academy, they are assigned a mentor from our department, and the mentor checks in on the cadet constantly throughout the process, giving guidance and everything, how to succeed in the academy. Did I miss anything?
I think the hiring group is also, if I can add, I believe this hiring group, the one that went through the academy, also had a couple of lateral members who were former firefighters somewhere, so we kind of had a couple of blended groups, hiring groups, to create one large group.
Thank you.
Okay. Inspector?
Good evening, everyone. For everyone watching remotely, my name is Chuck Mason. I'm the inspector at KDPS. And I'm here to kind of brief you on, I guess, as we're getting close to the end of the year, kind of the PCRs. I know there's still some that are outstanding, still under investigation or under the chief's review, but kind of getting close to having them all wrapped up for the year. So just kind of review, PCR is a formal complaint that a citizen has made, so it's external, and it's made its way up to the Office of Professional Standards. I will investigate that as the inspector, investigate the individual's complaint. After my investigation is completed, I send that to the Chief of Public Safety, who makes a determination on whether there's any policy compliance issue. So anything having to do with the citizen's complaint or anything else that's uncovered during the investigation, the chief kind of looks at all that based on my case and then makes a decision. And then that is returned to me. So if you look in the PCR report, any of the dispositions can be anything from unfounded, exonerated, not sustained, or misconduct other, and those are all definitions for those are all available on our website. And as a reminder, the misconduct other is anything that wasn't a direct complaint or allegation by the citizen that I uncovered during my investigation. So, for example, the officer forgot to turn on their body-worn camera. That's not the complaint that the citizen made, but it's something that I uncovered during my investigation, and so that would fall under the misconduct other category. I know that former Vice Chair Garcia had asked, I believe it was maybe last summer, about breakdowns of complaints based on proactive versus call for service and anything else. When I was up here giving the report rather than just answering questions to you. So I wanted to kind of give you, this is a rough estimate, about 18 of the PCRs so far that have been completed and sent back from the chief have been call for service related. 17 have been proactive, that is the result of a traffic or pedestrian stop, and 8 of those have been unrelated to calls for service. Are there any questions that I can answer on the report that's before you? Mr. Allen.
How you doing, Inspector?
Just fine.
I guess, being, a track and trend person in my professional career, I'm seeing an increase on number of sustained and sustained under dishonesty. Mm-hmm. So has the department kind of been highlighted under this trend? And if so, what are we doing? And if not, why not?
Yeah. So the category itself, it's a little misleading. So we have not had any complaints that have been sustained for dishonesty. So when coming up with, the categories had to be combined, or different allegation areas had to be combined into groups. Otherwise, I could have 20, 30 different categories. I had to kind of blend them together in a way that statistically would make sense. So the category you're referring to is dishonesty, unprofessionalism, or rudeness. So there's just 3 different areas in there. And I have the sustained results in front of me here. So for that category, all of the sustained violations have been for rudeness or unprofessionalism on the part of the officer. So none have been for dishonesty.
With that being, though, what are we doing to address that trend?
Yeah. So really that comes down to conversations with officers. Most of them that I think all of them I've seen have been officers who have been, it's either been a point in the shift where they're getting into, an agitated situation with a citizen, or it's late in the shift and they've just come from a certain call and they're worked up from it. So this really comes down to individual conversations with officers about the need to maintain professionalism, and which is a difficult thing. And then people will struggle with it their entire career because it requires you to essentially separate your human self in ways from the uniform, which can bleed through at times. So is it a pervasive issue? No, not by any means.
So we have this trend, and we're just hoping that conversations, and we'll say, chalking it with the bad day, bad timing, or are we looking at the trend and finding out if we're understanding it's close to the shift, what are we doing to negate that? Or are we just saying bad day?
There hasn't been, with the 4 here that are 4 sustained complaints for rudeness, there hasn't been a specific trend to them to show like it's been near shift change or anything like that. They've kind of been all over the board. So I can't ascribe a specific reason to it.
I only use that because you said that you looked at and you were saying near shift change, and so I was just going off what you said.
I was giving an example of a potential situation where that might arise.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
I do have to bring mention to that. Notice out of 43 PCRs, only 4 of them are outside of African American. Quite a few have not reported. Do we circle back so that we can capture that data? Because otherwise it would indicate that all the complaints are coming from African Americans.
Circle back on the race? Generally, I don't. If the person doesn't self-report it in the form, I don't assign one to it.
Because then, yeah, the weight is heavy on complaints from African Americans, so I guess I would want us to have a deeper dive into why that is.
Yeah, as far as, they're a very few number are not. And again, I think I talked about this a little bit maybe at the last business meeting, that an analysis of that is certainly beyond the scope of my office. I can do what I can with the tools that I have. But yeah.
I think the greater question for the board, and I think these questions that our members have asked, is trend data, right? And so we're looking at a snapshot of 1 year when we look at the PCR reports. And I know that you have trend data that's out there. And so even from a board perspective, looking at some of these things, especially at the year end, how does it compare to the last 2 or 3 years? Do we see an increase in the numbers? Are we seeing an increase in the diversity of the individuals who are filing the complaints? Just the trend data, and what does that look like in terms of the city?
Well, it's fortunate that in the past year, we've changed the way that our information is being reported publicly, and that came with the the new website and the new dashboard. So now, rather than having, which was the case previously, where we uploaded a PDF document of the complaint demographic data online, and it was very difficult to search. Now there's an interactive search function, which now here next month will contain 2 full years of data that's searchable along several different parameters, and we're just going to keep building on that. So over time, we will have trend data that will be comparable.
Great. And I think that's an important piece in terms of understanding how things are functioning within the city.
Agreed.
Other questions? Done, thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to move to board member comments. Are there any comments from the members of the board? I would like to at least congratulate. I saw that K9 Sledge and his handler, PSO Max Houtman, were recently honored with the Spike K9 of the Year award. And if folks don't remember, in particular, the K9, the dog, Spike, was severely injured in a call, and such that had to be rushed to an emergency veterinary facility and recovered, and my understanding is back out in the field again. And so it's a wonderful thing when an injury that seems to be very devastating, it's survivable, and the dog has returned to the field. But also, again, congratulations on the award.
I just wanted to add just a little clarification to the question that was asked earlier about trending and anything. So at the end of the year, we, at the department, we look at any trends that's come, whether it's, let's take rudeness, for example, and how many sustained cases. The chief look at it. We look at the course. If there's any training that needs to happen in the future, we contact the training division and we'll look at future trainings, whether it's done internally or we bring someone else in. So we're very conscious of any trending that may occur from PCRs, not only from PCRs, but any other complaints that may have come in that may not have gotten to a PCR that was presented from other command officers to the chief's office.
Thank you so much for that clarification,
Yeah,
Chief.
so
I just one question. Are any of the, complaints, especially the ones that are sustained, are any of them at supervisors? Are you able to dictate to supervisors who would then have people under their command?
Yeah, so in any case that's sustained, it is reported to the supervisor, and whatever discipline is needed, whatever level it may be, it is dealt with at the supervisor level, if that's what you're asking.
No, I guess I'm asking where any other supervisor. I know at times, like, citizens may call for a supervisor, sergeant, whatever, to show up at the scene. Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering if any of those were towards those individuals as well.
So any complaints that was against a supervisor, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
I don't know if that's the... None sustained against supervisors. So when we say supervisors, we're saying sergeant and above.
Correct.
And rank. So.
Correct. In order to ask, because if we're doing mentor training, but we notice an issue with our supervisors, then we need to look deeper. So if it's not our supervisors and our role people, then I think training and just continuing mentorship, the avenue that you're taking should be sufficient. So thank you for your additional comments.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. If there are no other board comments, next is the opportunity for the general public comments. Speakers will each have 3 minutes for their comments. We will start with in-person speakers, and I do not see any in the room, and then go to call-in speakers. People who have public comment, people who want to offer comments via phone should call 888-382-9556. That's 888-382-9556, starting now, through the end of the public comment period. While the Citizens Public Safety Review and Appeal Board welcomes your comments, this is not a time for dialogue or give and take between speakers and the board members or city staff. So that your concerns can be addressed, We ask you to sign in, provide your contact information, and also please be mindful of the time limit and finish your sentence when time expires.
Chair, there are no calling comments.
Thank you. Since there are no call-in comments, we'll move to the second to the last agenda item, which is the upcoming meetings. January 14th, 2025 is an appeal hearing. February 11th, at this point, stands to be an open meeting. If there are no other comments or concerns or questions that need to be addressed, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so very much. We'll now move into a closed session.